Hey everybody, welcome back to, well today it's a guide to free resources for artists. I messed up my shoulder, drawings off the page, so I was like, what can I do? I can load up a few web pages and share them with you. So I'm just going to cover a few things. The links are down below in the description if you want to check any of these out. And I'm just going to go over a few of them. So let's see. First one, you might have just seen it pop up. Krita. This one is a free program for artists. It is not one that I have tried personally yet. And it's one that it will be something I think I'm going to try in the future, just to see how it compares to Clip Studio Paint and Paint Tool Sai, which I have also used. So, full disclosure, this is not one I have personally used, but it is a free resource, and I've seen many artists that I look up to and think create amazing art who use Krita. So, that's the first one I have for you. The second one is also another free drawing program, and it's GIMP. So GNU Image Manipulation Program, I guess is what it stands for. I just learned something new today. This one's really cool because despite Clip Studio Paint doing so many neat things that I do enjoy, one of its limitations is I can't export a transparent PNG animation, a GIF, a GIF, if if you please. So yeah, fight about that one in the comments for me. The So the limitation there is really annoying, and the way I get around it is by exporting my animation in Clip Studio as a series of images, and then I load the series of images into GIMP, which then lets me export that as a GIF, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna make everybody mad. I'm just gonna say them both now. So like the other thing that it really is useful for is if you say don't have a tablet and you're trying to find ways to draw without using a tablet. GIMP actually has vector points, so you can drag and drop and use that as a method to create art if you feel that having a mouse makes you feel limited. I'll make a tutorial covering that kind of thing if you want to see how. Just let me know. I'm trying to make stuff more accessible for everybody, so, why not start with free drawing programs? The one that I use personally is Clip Studio Paint here. This one is not free, but it does go on sale for about $15, I think 2 to 3 times a year. So if you see it on sale, maybe the price has gone up since then, but I'll have to double check. When it goes on sale, it was worth picking up. All right, and so with that one, let's move on to the next thing. You have a program to draw with, right? Now, what to draw? That would be a good question, right? So one of the biggest things that I struggle with is where to find things that I can draw from. And so one thing is to find artists who post pose references. So Adorka Stock has been someone I've been following for a very long time. If we go, you can view pose archive, and then you've got just a whole gallery, and they've been posting for a long time. There's 323 images here, and so I just absolutely love looking at these, they've also got a place where you can purchase packs, but a lot of them are free resources, and if you're using them for a drawing, you're totally good. You can use these for commission references. You just cannot repost the image and say that that is your picture. So I think that it's really neat. Here's another, this is their pose archive on here. They also have a great variation of body diversity. So I think that that's super cool. And then they also have these little body suits. So you can see sort of the center lines down the body. And so these are just super cool. And you've got like action poses. You've got somebody with a violin. Like right here, you could just draw a whole D&D party shenanigans. So, you know, you can look through these for inspiration. This one with the wings are really cool. And, you know, these sorts of resources are out there. You just have to know where to look for them. And so if you know, let me know more. There's a few I need to compile a bigger list. But Adorka stock was the first to come to mind when I go to find pose references for myself. And another one I've been going to for a long time. I didn't get any sort of pings from my browser about the website. So be careful. I wouldn't download anything because I'm not sure. All the pop-up ads on the sides just made me feel real sketch. So, but nothing I can see. Like everything I can tell, this is still a valid website. So here's the one thing I would tell you to watch out for. Don't really use these ones where they're musculature over a figure, because these are just textures applied to a 3D model, so they're not necessarily accurate. But if you go to some of the actual images that they have, they do full turnarounds of the different poses. So it's really handy to sort of study the body from different angles if you're doing gesture drawings, or maybe something is super, super close, but you wish it was just at a 3/4 turn from the back or directly on. So it's really neat. And I believe a Dorka stock also offers ones like these, but those are on the purchased packs through Ko-fi. And so on to another free pose resource. This one is called Quick Poses, and it is super handy. This one I like because you can choose the interval of how long you would like it to hold an image. So say I want to go here to timed practice. This is what I usually do. It'll let you pick the type. So say I just want to practice hands. We can do that. We'll do all, and then I want to give myself 60 seconds, and we'll do 10 of them. So I usually do between 30 and 60 seconds. If I give myself longer than that, I feel like, unless I'm trying to do a more detailed anatomy study, gesture drawings shouldn't really be longer than 60 seconds. You lose the point of the exercise a little bit. So at least to start, get used to these. They get you to work through the full figure instead of focusing on just like the torso. So it gets you into working out the whole figure first, and then sort of getting to flesh out the rest of it. So this one, they're going for 60 seconds. You can pause it, so if you need to take a break, it'll pause it for a few minutes, but so you can't cheat, it hides the image. So I think that's really cool. Like if you dropped your pencil, you're like, oh, I need to grab my pencil. It doesn't keep ticking. And then you can also go, oh, I don't like this one. And you can skip, and you can go, okay, I like this. And then I'm not sure if I have to finish it. Does it work if... Oh, this is new. Neat. So apparently they've been doing updates to stuff. And then let's see, if I click stop session, does it do it? Yes, sort of. Okay. So because this was the only image I was on, it's the only image shown up here. But once you finish, say, the 10 images, at the end, it'll show you all 10 images that you went through. So you can kind of compare your page to the end results, which I really liked. So quick poses is pretty good. The only downside I found was that after a while, it felt more repetitive, and that I was seeing similar poses again. And so what I would probably do to correct that is at that point, I might go and give myself a longer interval and do a more detailed anatomy study, since it's become familiar. And so it no longer serves as good as a gesture drawing for like new stuff, but I still come back here intermittently and it's great for brushing up on skills. So, what if you need something other than people to draw, though? A recent one I've found here is called Unsplash, and this is, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit here. Yes. So this is all stuff that you can use to draw from. I actually found this from somebody talking about a painting tutorial. This is where they came to find a landscape that they ended up painting. And it brought me to come and check it out. And I'm pretty impressed. I think it's really neat. And, I went and, let's see, I was looking for spaghetti for a date night piece. Spaghetti. All right. And then look at this. Like, instead of just the Google images and garbage, like, these are actually some pretty nice detailed shots, varying angles. There's like a few of these where I could definitely see maybe using them for some sort of reference. There's a bit of a limitation to them, but if you're trying to do like studies or the like, just something like this is really good. I would dig stuff up on Pinterest before, but Pinterest is really shoddy about like being able to find original sources and stuff, and so I don't always feel good using things from there to, like, I'll use it for inspiration, but I rarely will directly pull anything from Pinterest because I don't know the source. Okay, so say you've made some cool things and you want to share it. It's actually how I make my thumbnail and stuff, is Canva. This one's neat. It's sort of like a free mini graphic design software. Let's pull this one up. It's the thumbnail for my last video, and it's super neat. It's got where you can sort of, it shows you when stuff is centered, and like, so if I wanted this in the middle, I could find where the middle is there, and it tells me where the middle is here, and I can see them lined up next to each other. So if you're trying to like work with some like quick text based stuff, I find that this is a little more fluid and designed for that than something like Clip Studio. And this does have a paid version, but you can access a lot of stuff with the free version. And then honestly, you can make stuff with the paid version and like just leave it there as like a work in progress. And then I paid for the subscription and then I downloaded all the assets that I made. And so now when I make new ones, I'll have to pay for the subscription again. But it's one where there's enough assets that when I can afford it, it's probably going to make the monthly subscriptions that I would take on for my art business, because I get a lot of usage, a lot of usage out of Canva. All right, and then the last one. I would not think that I would be shouting out an Adobe thing, because usually Adobe, I got words. But their color picker is really great. I love this one. So they've got multiple ones. There's one where you can, so this one lets you drag and drop and download an image. Let's see what happens if I actually download something real quick. Let's just throw in, let's throw in the Scuts, yeah. Let's throw in an emote. And look at that. So from it, it just automatically took the colors from the image and went, okay, here. And it even shows you the spots from which it took the samples. So that's pretty cool because I'm assuming that that means I can go, well, I have two yellows that are almost the same. I actually wish that this was the brighter yellow, and I need this one to be the gray, you know. So it actually lets you kind of adjust and sample where you pick the parts from. I think that's super neat because, like, say I just wanted to get this like odd shade of purple down there. Maybe I just want the shades of her and not necessarily the orange from the background. So it lets you kind of feel around the picture and find those. That's really cool. I find it super handy. And then the extracted gradient works very similar. This is pretty neat. Sometimes it can help you kind of test out maybe like a background you want to try, or I use this a lot when I'm trying to create OCs and working on new character refs because it allows me a lot of flexibility to kind of see how these things look. Gradients and such I'll do a lot in the program itself just because it's pretty easy with the airbrush. But the last thing I'm going to cover here real quick is this, the color wheel. I come here all the time. This guy's my best friend, and I'm going to tell you why. So, it's very easy to go, all right, let's see. This is an oh no, don't make me pronounce stuff. I can say it right in my brain and then it trips over my tongue on the way out, so you know, we'll skip that one. And I can say monochromatic. This one I've got down. So what monochromatic does, if you don't know, is it basically keeps everything in the same hue, and it just messes with the tint. So we'll move over to Triad. This one is basically, if I were to say how I generally choose color schemes, naturally just with what I pick with my eyeballs, it would be sort of this method. So if I've got a character who's got, let's, there. So say I've got a character who's got like the blue and green as their main colors, right? I might use something this reddish orange for the accent color so that the blue and the green would pop. This is a really like extreme example of what I mean, but if you messed around with it, you'd get me. And then same thing with complementary, where it just feels out the things that are opposite on the color spectrum. It has split complementary. This is another one of my favorites where you take two things that are closer on the color wheel and then you find their direct opposite. This is also like one of my, this one demonstrates what I was trying to explain a little bit better as the color palette here is a bit more cohesive. And then again, you've just got different configurations where it lets you kind of try stuff out and see how they all look together. So if you struggle maybe yourself with deciding what looks good together or what accents another color, this can be really helpful because it sort of has a method to the madness. And as you get to play around with it more, because you can see how it moves and adjusts, you can kind of pick up on how it's choosing these like structures. you've got something that are very close, and then you've got two things that are kind of across from the way, right? But by choosing these two colors here within the same arc, it makes them more alike than if you chose an orangish red. Not that that would necessarily look bad, but that it would have a different impact on the result. I love playing around with this. So shades is kind of similar to monochromatic. I'm not really sure why they have two separate ones for that, but maybe there's a subtle detail I'm missing. And then the one I use all the time is custom. So this one you can just kind of drag multiple ones wherever you want. Down here, it looks like there's two different tints, so it can either be darker or lighter. So this is definitely something you can play around with. You can also go down here and actually just enter the, I think, yes. You can just enter the hex codes, you can slide stuff around here. So like if you struggle with not knowing what maybe colors look good in a design, this is like one of the best tools you can use. Honestly, oh, wow. This is actually, they've added a lot since the last time I've messed around with this. And then the last thing you can do is sort of add and remove stuff. So if I only want it to be 3 colors, I can do that. I just click here to add a 4th. So yeah, between this, I mean, you've got programs you can draw on. You've got things you can use for inspiration. You've got subjects to draw, and now you've also got a way that you can find out what colors look good to maybe use in a color palette. So yeah, that's all I've really got for you today on these ones. If you happen to know any more free resources yourself that would help artists of any level, let me know. And otherwise, if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, it's gonna be a short stream today because my shoulder is not so hot. Otherwise, we would have been drawing. This was my impromptu, informative information. Oh God, that was very repetitive. Good job, Scuts. Very helpful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I was trying to think what was something that I could put together that would still be helpful and not too rough on my shoulders. So I was like, yeah, let's put together some free resources. I've been using Pose Maniacs for a long time, and even some of these turnarounds are new. I'm probably gonna go here and look for some next time because, I mean, there's a lot, and the more you draw gesture drawings and the more you draw the human body in different poses and angles, the better your library in your head is, and that's when you get artists. And that's when you get artists. That's my mood today. I forgot my train of thought. Anyways, can we see the gnomes? Oh. You know what? You know what? We can see the gnomes. Do I have the gnomes set up? Maybe. If you have any other questions, I definitely would love to either answer them or write them down so I can look into them in the future. I'm trying to think of any other good free resources, but for the most part, I was like, all right, if you have pencil and paper and you want to work traditionally, you have what you need to start. And if you want to start digitally, that one is a bit more of a hill to climb, but I used to take pictures of my traditional sketches and load them into GIMP. And then in GIMP, I would use my mouse and the vector lines to basically drag and drop my line art. All right, I think everything opened. Okay, give me just a second. Let's go. I've been having this tech issues. And there's actually no music today because I could not get my sound to function. Malik asks, what are good ways to develop the muscle memory to learn the difference between drawing from the wrist and the elbow? Honestly, my wrist brace has been the best thing for that. And I only know this because there have been times where my wrist has been really bad, but drawing with my wrist brace on has limited the amount of wear. So it keeps it kind of just to the grasping of the pencil and the slight movements of my fingers. But actually wearing my wrist brace while I draw keeps my wrist supported and straight. And that actually forces me to use my shoulder. Ow! Don't use your shoulder right now, Scuts. I was gesturing through the motion as I was talking. Sorry about that. But the limiting the motion of your wrist artificially, like with a wrist brace or it being attentive to it, it does make you rely more on using your shoulder and your elbow. And when you do that, you're able to get larger sweeping motions and you can kind of get past the chicken scratchy type stage of your art. And I can confirm, because this is what I'm learning to do with my left hand actually, while I've been drawing with it. And the thing that hurts the most isn't necessarily my hand. It's been the back of my upper arm and the top back part of my shoulder. Because when I lift and I move my arm, those are the muscles that activate the most when I'm making sure that I'm not using my wrist. Remember, don't do what you do and tear everything in your shoulder. I know, I'm trying to be actually, I might, as soon as I'm done streaming, I'm putting the sling back on, but I tried to put the battery back in the smoke detector because it died and I replaced it, and then I tried to get off the chair carefully instead of just stepping down like a normal person. I was like, oh, better be careful so I don't hurt myself. And so then I lost my center of balance and fell and hurt myself. So lesson learned, don't be careful. I'm just gonna get off the chair like a normal person. The last time I fell, I was trying to get down careful too, and I'm like, okay, just get down how I think I should get down when I overthink trying to do it right and being too careful. That's when I've gotten hurt. I'm just like, okay, lesson learned. But yeah, I'm taking good care of it so I can get back to it. Unfortunately, I hurt my wrist earlier in the month, so this has just kind of compounded the whole not being able to draw train. But the good news for my wrist is while my shoulder's recovering, I can't make it draw, so it's getting a chance to rest up the rest of the way. And you guys should check this out. Like I'm my left-handed drawings are pretty wild. You know what? Let's do that. I'm gonna do a little left-handed doodle before we we back off, and I'll keep answering any other questions too. But I'm gonna do something with my left hand. I've been drawing. I can't do my dishes. They're kicking my ass right now. They're really hard to do one-handed. So I am doing my best to like negate the situation. But this last week, before I hurt my shoulder, we managed to everybody got some left-handed doodles from me, and I was able to get a dishwasher. So thank you so much, everybody who participated in that. I actually have some that I should draw for Deathlight as well. Probably tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. I'm trying to not push my right shoulder too far, so that's kind of where things are at. Let's see. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to draw. Oh no, I just drew a blank. What kind of mermaid? I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far. Alright, let's just draw a line. Sometimes when I don't know what to draw, I'm just like... I'm like, okay. Now what? Which one's the top and which one's the bottom? I'm gonna make her head at the bottom. And then I just kind of draw a body around the line of motion I made. Boop. Oh my gosh, I hate drawing with my left hand. I feel like I know how to draw, and it's not coming out how it should. That's fine. In the end, it'll come out looking like something, though. And it's better to try to draw something than to draw nothing. Every year I want to draw for Mermaid, and this year I literally have, like, trashed my drawing arm to hell and back, and I'm like, I will be relentless. I will draw Mermaid with left hand. You didn't... Yeah, exactly. What do? Stun lock. But yeah, I don't see why not. Let's kick off Mermaid with a mermaid. Ow. Unless I can't do this, then I'll have to stop. Even trying to use my my right hand to use Control Z is pretty hard. And all I'm doing is pressing a button on my shortcut remote. Alright. There's gotta be some kind of for shortening there, huh? Maybe. Like, this is a fun way for me to doodle when I don't know. I just kind of fill up the space. I don't care. Like, the point is to just draw and be happy I drew something more than to draw something that's, like, I guess amazing. It's nice when it comes out good, but I'd rather... I've been going stir crazy. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to describe to anyone how suffocating it feels to not be able to create art. That the only way I can describe to you how much I need to draw is that I'm drawing with my left hand, because for the better part of the month my right hand has not been able to. So, like, if you want to draw, you absolutely can draw. Like, don't let anything stop you. I don't, because nothing, like, no, you could take away everything and I would draw with sticks in the dirt. Like, if I'm bored somewhere and I don't have a sketchbook, I'll, you know, I'll be the kid arranging like leaves and making art with like the junk around me. You know, art is anywhere that I need to fill my time because that's how I like to fill it. So, if anybody else feels that way, that's why I just spewed out all those resources. Because for me, art is literally everything. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't. I could go the rest of my life without sharing art with anybody else, and I would draw anyways. Like, it's not about that. It's never been about the numbers. Like, I adore that I get to share my art with people and that people enjoy, you know, getting commissions from me and that I make them happy with my art. And that part is where I find a lot of the satisfaction, you know? That's why I don't care if things get 5 likes or 1,000 likes or, you know, it's it's the fact that I made it that matters. And I think that that's why I get commissions, is because I'm not making commissions for money. I mean, like, I'm doing it because I have to, because capitalism and because, like, money is required for me to exist. But if I didn't need money, I'd still be making art. Like, the value and the joy that comes from, you know, giving somebody something that I created and having them find enjoyment in that is just, it's incredible. I was joking with somebody. Um, they shared something and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool." And they're like, uh, "Thanks, I made it." And I was like, "Thanks, I made it" is my favorite drug. Because, you know, for real, it's just, there's something that's so cool about it. For me, it was metalsmithing and jewelry work that, like, when somebody goes, "Oh, I really like your earrings," or "I really like your necklace," and I'm like, "Thanks, I made it." And we're not talking just like beadwork. We're talking like silversmithing, like soldering and sawing and shaping metal, not just like, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to disparage people who do like bead bracelets and stuff, because like I don't know how to. But it's really frustrating as a silversmith that when I say I do jewelry, people assume that I mean that I put beads on string and make a bracelet, and I'm like, No, I melt things and I put it together and I go, yes, look at what I made." Oh. Jewelry class. You mean I get to play with fire and make stuff? I'm in. mm, no, I don't like that. I like to play around with like different fin shapes and things, but it's really hard right now. I don't even know how I feel about this pose. It's really like awkward and twisted. But, you know, I'm drawing it with my left hand, so I'm trying to cut myself a break. Should we give her classic shells? No. She gets one shell, one starfish. Why? Because I feel like it. We're going off the rails today. You know what? We're going off the rails today. It's artistic nudity. We're going with no shells. I always fail to understand the issue with artistic nudity. Looking at you, Twitch. Alright, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get much further than this. My arm is starting to get sore. But I'm happy I drew. Like, it means more to me that I, like, made some shapes on my paper than anything. And the worst thing, frankly, about doing commissions and dealing with stuff like this, is getting rusty. And then I'm trying to come back to work and I can't. And then it sort of like starts the art block cycle. So for me to even get on and create something badly is still engaging my brain and my hand, my brain and my hands, so that I am staying sort of in the mode. Okay, my phone is exploding. That's really distracting. Put it in the timeout corner if it goes off anymore. All right. I think I'm just gonna try to clean this sketch up a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna get to doing any sort of like line art or anything on it. Though that makes me sad. Like, this is kind of a... I want to like clean up the pose so it makes sense. Anyways, it's a mermaid I drew with my left hand. It's starting to get to the point where I hardly can even tell that I'm drawing with my non-dominant hand, except I feel like it's backwards for some reason. Well, not for some reason. It's because I'm using the wrong hand. It's weird. It confuses me. True goblin energy. Yes. Oh, wow, for real? You'd love to see a video about my jewelry? Yeah, for sure. Let me see, do I have anything photo-wise of my jewelry? I have cosplay, I have jewelry, this is not, I guess, beadworking. I was playing, or, not metalworking. I was playing around with, chainmail type, playing with the jump rings and stuff. And there's the matching earrings that go with them. Gosh, I will have to get a bunch of my old jewelry together then, because I have pictures of it. I posted a locket I made on my Twitter about, I think, last week. Here's a sculpture I made for my mom. It was my first time using a plasma cutter. I was actually going to go into welding and learn to be a welder before I got sick and ended up doing this for a living. There's the little fairy. Like, it was really interesting. So I ended up having the teacher just kind of like stand there mesmerized, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm watching. Like, I don't mean to like make you nervous." And I'm like, you can't make me nervous. I can't go anywhere and make any art of any medium without people like watching me like it's some sort of spectacle. I've just accepted it. It's what happens. And she was like, "I've been teaching this class for 10 years and I've never seen anyone pick up a plasma cutter and use it that well in their first go." And I was like, "Nah, thanks." I did the wings first to kind of get the hang of it with the more abstract thing, and then I held my breath and screamed internally the whole time I tried to cut out the shape of the fairy. Because plasma cutters are so weird. They're not so weird. You're cutting the fucking metal by getting it so hot that it melts, right? And you have to move at a very specific pace, because if you go too fast, you don't cut all the way through. And if you go too slow, then you get big melty puddles. Like, you can see where I didn't cut all the way through on these wings, right? These ones are stuck on because there's these little globby bits. So I managed to do the fairy without fucking her up too much. Oh, you can see where I melted her knee right there. This is where I went too slow. Oh, that's a horrible... That's where I went too slow. And these ones where it's stuck on, that's where I went too fast. And so I tried to learn how fast to go when I did the fairy. And she was just amazed by it. But in my head, when I was going through it, it reminded me of when you're using a Sharpie and it's not totally dried out, but it's not really moist either. But if you go at this sweet spot of a pace, you can still get a solid line with it. Do I know any desperate art kids out there that have been in my shoes? The only green Sharpie, and it's kind of wonky, but if you work with it, it'll work for you. So yeah, that's this is pretty good. And then let me show you the whole thing. The whole sculpture went together like this. And so it was like a rose, and then bleeding heart, and then the fairy. And oh my god, I forgot that in the fucking... When I buffed it, I buffed her hands on with the wheel, with the grinder. No wonder the instructors thought I was insane. Anyways, it was good. It was good. You should see the backside. It is hideous. My welds are disgusting and ugly, and I'm so proud of it. Unfortunately, it took such a big toll on me that I couldn't do something like this again. Which is really, really sad because the guy who ran the class actually reached out to me and was like, hey, so we do art installations around the city and we would love it if you would come and work with us on some of the projects. And there was like this mysterious penguin made out of spoons. And I was like, where did that funky little penguin come from? And it turned out that that was one of the art installations from the college. And I was invited to actually go work on stuff like that. And due to my chronic issues and the inflammation and the migraines I deal with, I had to turn it down. And it like eats at my soul to this day. I still want to reach out and just be like, hey, does that offer still stand? And just power through working on like one project just to say that something around the city was art that I got to work on. And yeah, anyways. So, but I've got dreams. And I've recently gained access to doing jewelry work again. So it'll be limited within what I can do, but I'm really excited. I love metal work. I am such a gremlin. Like, I can tell when something is a particular alloy or not. I've worked with titanium, I've worked with sterling, I've worked with nickel, silver. Like, I can tap a metal with my fingernail and go tap, tap, tap. This is silver. Tap, tap, tap. This is pewter. Tap, tap, tap. This is aluminum. Because there's something about the frequency that resonates differently. And I can literally tell you what alloy something is with about an 80%. Like, it depends on the metal. The more familiar I am, the better I am. But, like, I repaired a necklace for my friend. She wanted a piece of it sawed off. It was stamped 925, which makes me mad. That is a literal crime to sell something as sterling silver when it is not. And I want to find the vendor and be like, excuse me. Because I sawed off a piece and then it was brittle. It like snapped. And I'm like, silver doesn't snap like that. And I tapped the metal and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. I was like, I'm just being, whatever. So I gave the necklace back to my friend and she wore it. And in 2 days, she sent me a picture and she's like, you were right, bitch. And it was just a coating. It was just a coating that wore off. So, I am like an actual gremlin. you'd love to see a video about my jewelry, I'm actually going to be doing something of that sort. So when it gets off the ground, I'll be sharing it, but I'm working with a jeweler currently who is wanting some assistance. So I'm going to be helping them with the YouTubes, and I might be doing stuff on it. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Like full gremlin mode. I'm excited. Metalworking is pretty expensive. One time when you're over again, you need to spend like 5,000. Oh my God. The the equipment needed for like the plasma cutters and like a MIG welder. I want I want to weld so bad. Bijutsu yokai. There's a memory unlocked you didn't think you had regarding the Sharpie thing. Really? Okay, so like was it the same thing? A dry Sharpie? Or is it more like the memory I have of Sharpies where me and my friend were making a poster for school and then we had really bad migraines and realized we needed to open a window because we were goofed off our brains on Sharpies? I think they've changed the formula since the 90s. We're like, don't do that again. Got it. It's the same feeling you get when you see vehicles you've worked on the road. Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome to have like a sense of pride and accomplishment about things that you've made. Motel says, this stuff has always fascinated me. I'm so skilled. My jaw's on the floor. Oh, God. You want to see what metalsmithing led to? You want to see my first cosplay? We're just going to show off some of my mediums, I guess. I made Barbarian Zarya's armor from Overwatch, and because I'd done so much work with metal, when it came time to grinding down the foam and sanding the foam, I found it really easy to work with. So people were like, oh God, look at the Kawaii Reaper! Why did Overwatch have to get ruined? Anyways, it's Overwatch 2 now. I haven't played the game since they destroyed it. I'm just like, it's not the same. But yeah, it's the belt was the part that I like rushed through, but the pauldrons and the top are like the things I put my 100% into, and I'm pretty proud of it. But anyways, I'm a mixed medium wizard. If it's I can make art out of it. It doesn't matter what it is. I've stuck my mitts into so many things and I've tried so many things that they all cross apply in some way, and I'm just insanely good at almost whatever I touch as soon as I try it. Except for calligraphy. That's the Achilles heel. Scuts, can I hear if the coins are true gold? If you hear them clink in a specific way. I would assume it might be possible. I don't know. I tap stuff and I feel the way it taps through my fingernail. I don't listen to how it sounds in my ear, though that is a curious thing. If I find two pieces of gold that I can throw at each other, I guess I'll do it. For science! I'm curious about the reference now. Bijutsu. What does bijutsu mean? I know yokai is demon. When I was talking about that, you could totally recall trying to get a Sharpie to work like that with just the right speed and pressure. Yeah. So what's insane about that is that's the best way I have to describe how you want to go about using a plasma cutter. It's the same thing, is finding that sweet spot. If you go too fast, the marker is streaky, and if you go too slow, you get the marker puddles. And when I told that to the instructor, she was like, oh my gosh, I guess so. You're like, but I never thought of it like that. Oh, this is so cool. Definitely an inspiration. Hey, you're welcome. I try to be. I think art makes the world better. Malik says enshittification and rot of economy just seems to be the end result. Yeah. Yeah, that did, I would say, do it in. Oh. Kawaii Reaper can't hurt you. It's just not real. It was good. Let me see. Do I have any more good ones of the Zarya cosplay? I killed Kenny. Oh, that one's rotated. And then there's one good one where I'm... Hey, there we go. There's the back of the costume. The back plate's also another really sweet one. And then the front of the costume, I think I was trying to do the I will crush you. The boots are horrible. I was gonna redo the belt and the boots, and then the game sucks. So now I basically just use it for Ren Fair armor. Do I have a picture of that? Do you guys want to see that? There we go. I tore it up and I go sit on the skull thrones now. Anyways, when I say I'm a mixed medium gremlin, I mean like I've put my mitts in everything. I've made stuff out of foam. I paint stuff. I've done minis. Yeah. If it's something I can make, I want to try it. I want to make a fursuit hat. A fursuit hat? I want to make a fursuit head because I think it would be a fun challenge. I think the harder that things are, the more accomplished I feel when I am able to do them. And it just makes the struggle worth it. Bijutsu Yokai says, envious of the multimedia skills. For you, it's basically just traditional digital standard drawing. Pastels, painting, sculpting, sandblasting all elude you. Bijutsu means art. Ah, thank you. Oh, that's so cool. Art Demon. I love it. Art Demon meet Art Gremlin. Just bring your welder over. You love the boots, Bootsy? Well, thanks. Do I have any other interesting bits to show? I do not know. But, I thought that would be neat. I've got other cosplays I'm trying to make. But I'm not quite there yet. Oh, here's a foam top I painted. This one's for my next Ren Fair outfit. I'm gonna cut the whole bottom part off, though. It sticks out funny. After I've painted it and everything. But with how much I've been behind and having to work, that one's been that Ren Fair cosplay has been a work in progress for about 3 years now. It's great. Oh my god. This is what it was like going to the convention. Oops, no? Okay, never mind. We're not doing that. I don't want to open. There's, like, it took a whole storage container full to be able to fit stuff. I'll have to find some more pictures of my jewelry. We'll do a little showcase at the end of one of my other streams, maybe. I can clip it and share it. But yeah, oh god, I've even tried to do my hand at tattooing. Somebody got me a tattoo machine, and so I tried doing some. This is all like free. Well, no, that one I think that one's the one I used a stencil on. But like some of these I think I just freehanded while looking at images. And oranges are really wonky because they've got the like little mini like pitted surface on them. But yeah, the one I had was a really bad machine. That's why I never ended up tattooing humans with it. I only ever did the oranges, but like it was really fun. I have enough people who want me to tattoo them that I'm just like, make me do the research. If I can find the right machine to do so, it would make the difference. Like, most of the ones that you can just get off of Amazon and stuff, I don't trust the quality of. And if they cut out at all, you can tear skin and cause scarring. And I don't trust the inks from those. And all my friends are like, and this is why we want you to tattoo us, because we know you won't do it fucked up. I'm gonna do my research first. So, I don't know. I'm trying to see if when one of my friends goes and gets another tattoo, I can go along with, because they have a tattoo artist. They're like, you need to talk to this person. I'm like, okay. And it's opportunities like that where if they come along, I take them up, because why not? You know? As long as I'm doing stuff right and being careful about things, like, learning how to weld is fun. Actually, it was fucking hilarious. So I had, let's see, about 8 years experience of metalworking between jewelry and metal shop. So then when I went and I was doing that class on welding, and I made the sculpture, I was actually helping out the teachers, because I was answering other students when they were like, how do I do this? How do I use this? I didn't know how to use the welder, and I didn't know how to use the plasma cutter. But the teachers were helping people do that stuff, because I was telling people how to use the chuck keys for the why am I forgetting the Trizac wheels, the where you sand stuff, and the belt sanders. So they were impressed that I just like knew how to use some of the tools, and I don't know, everything I can learn. I'm addicted to learning. Anything I can try my hands at, I'm gonna. Juan says it's a reference from Spice and Wolf. In an episode, they try to debunk a silver devaluation scheme where the main character must detect how much of silver is in the new coins versus the old coins by listening carefully to the frequency of the sound they make when they clink. Supposedly, the higher, the more silver is melted into the coins, and the more valuable they are. Really? Huh, that's interesting. 'Cause yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. Maybe I would be able to tell something like that, because if it's referring to the frequency, I feel like that's the same thing. I'm just not detecting it with my ears. I'm detecting it with my nails. Because, like, if you think about it, you all know how to do the exact same thing. It's not actually some magic secret, you know? If I handed you 3 objects and I asked you to tap each of them with your finger, you could tell me one was plastic, one was glass, and one was metal. You might not be able to tell me what metal, but you'd be able to tell me that it's metal versus glass. You know what I mean? If you tap really thick, like plexiglass, and you tap regular glass, they have a different frequency, and you can tell which one is plastic. They also sound a little bit different, but you can feel it too. And so I think that being able to feel just by tapping what metal things are is from just having experience in that material subset. Grinders are your best friends if you're not good at pretty welding. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. How long have we been streaming for? Because we've hit about an hour. All right. Because my shoulder's hurting me. I gotta put it in the sling and I gotta rest it up. It's doing a lot better, but I want to keep it going that way, and I don't want to push too hard. I'm really glad that I got on today and that I could show you some free resources, and apparently draw a wonky left-handed mermaid, and then go through a little meander through some of my artistic endeavors. So if the proof is in the pudding that I am Art Gremlin, it was today. thank you all so much for joining me. Hopefully next week I will be on the mend, and either the next video I have will be ready to go, or we'll be doing a live stream covering backgrounds and landscapes and how I paint those digitally. It's like a Bob Ross day. Yeah. Oh my God. I should put a little Bob Ross wig on Skuts and get her a little easel. It'll be great. We'll see. But I appreciate it. I am actually halfway to the hours for monetization, and I am only um where am I at? I'm so dyslexic. I don't even know, but I'm like getting closer to the 500 follow mark, which unlocks the ability for memberships and subscriptions on YouTube. So it allows the ability to support me directly through the platform. And a little bit after that, like, will be to the point that these might actually earn me some money. So if you appreciate that I'm sharing what I know for free, because out of the love of my heart, I want to see more people make art. I want people to be in love with creating. So just watching and hitting the like button, those are free, and it helps me so much. And I just want to keep spreading more positivity, more joy of creating stuff, and just like more art gremlins. Let's go. You're all amazing, and I appreciate you. I hope to see you next week, and keep being amazing. Have a good one. Bye.